good morning. Wait, you only say one good morning. I
I
say
know,
three.
I'm copying you.
God almighty.
Because he says 3.
This
and I
morning's
like
been a rough morning, guys. I'm telling you.
Boy, you look pretty good. You're nice and tan. Look at how nice your hair
I'm
looks.
talking about dealing with you, not me.
I thought it was very nice this
Oh,
morning.
thank you, lovely.
I'm ready for fall. Only it's hot.
Okay.
It's hot. I'm ready for fall and it's hot.
Right before I know it's true.
Look, I have one just for you.
Look, I know.
He hates this.
Any kind of leopard,
Any kind of leopard. he
animal
hates.
print, it's just.
Today was for him, so I wore leopard and beige, all for the fall.
Yes.
Look at my leopard glasses. Look at it. I like it.
They're beautiful.
This bothers him, so I do it on
They're
purpose.
beautiful. I love
So,
them.
did you have a nice weekend?
I know. I had a great weekend. To be
You had
honest
a
with you.
busy thing at the club last
Yeah,
night.
last
right?
night was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
But who was
But
there?
the band last night, well, there was a couple of bands last night, and it was called, see, I was saying The Tribe, but it's called Tribe.
Tribe.
And they were very, very good. I love them, and I want to say, guys, thank you so much for, they kept the noise down.
Oh,
Like, I have all these
finally.
bands that come and they perform, and they
play
play so loud, and then I'm like, guys, just, you know, and I have a meter, a sound meter, which allows them to, you know, to tell them how high they can go, but they'll do a testing with it, and then all of a sudden, then as soon as you walk away, they're jamming away really, really hard.
Well,
So,
he's like the meter police.
yeah.
Because
Well, you have to be.
we
You have
follow
to
the
be.
rules with the town and the county.
Yeah,
So
no,
you
You
should
gotta
know
follow
that.
the rules.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
That's it.
So thank you for coming, Linda Fostak, author, everything lady, disaster lady, how to do everything. We're going to talk to you in a little bit.
Well,
Linda
it's a pleasure
Fostak.
to be here.
Thank you. She came all the way from exit 70 or wherever the heck you live,
I'm
so
not
far
that
away.
far.
Doug Tunin, I know you
Thank
from
you for
last
having me.
year when you
Yes.
started running and I terrorized you on the phone.
No, I
No, it
could
hasn't been a
never.
year yet.
I could never imagine that.
I get it every day. Don't worry. You're not the
That
only-
was nice, wasn't
I
it?
could
Yeah, you're
never.
one of the nicer
I'm
ones.
nice, you know,
You're
but I
definitely-
ask a lot of questions.
No.
Yes, no,
So-
nothing wrong with that. If I can't handle being asked questions, then
That's right.
I'm trying
But
to
I'm
do
glad
the
to
wrong
have
governor.
you here.
Thank you for
And
having me.
I understand we're going to see you tomorrow night too. So.
Yes, so I'm running for U.S. Congress in
That's
this
right.
district,
Right.
and I live right around the block.
I
Actually, so
know.
I don't mind the loud music. It's
Well, you know
You know,
what?
but-
It's a place for people to
If he
come.
loses, he's gonna mind. I'm telling you right now. Okay.
Yeah.
my daughter heard it. This was like maybe you guys were one of the first to start getting
Yeah,
people
3
back out
hours,
and about, which
plenty
was
of room.
Right.
highly appreciated. And my daughter heard the live music, and that's how I met you. Actually,
That's
we came
right,
over
that's
here.
right.
We did some dancing in the parking lot. She's 6 years old.
Right, I guess.
That's right.
But
She
great,
ran
great
this place.
seeing you guys.
She
have
was
out.
everywhere,
Yes.
But you know,
just
it's,
like a daddy.
you
Everywhere.
know what it
You see
is?
where that's coming from.
It's good for the community because there's no place to go. So Greg, you know, I mean, what he's doing is like amazing because people.
Well, everybody's so down and out right now
Yes,
too. I mean,
exactly.
just to
Right,
listen
right.
to some live music and do some dancing is.
Or just anything live. I mean, just
Yeah.
even being here today is exciting.
Yeah, because you haven't really been out.
Right.
You know, I've been doing a lot of
Traveling.
other things, but
Right.
they've all been online, Zoom,
Right.
Yes.
Skype, different things. But
So first of all, I always give everyone Italian bread because I believe in breaking bread with people. That's the Italian nature of my family. So you take it home, break bread with someone. If you don't
Break
have
it
a
over the
friend,
head. It's hard.
or if you have
It'll
an
have to
animal,
be my dog.
I was going to say, if you have an animal, you give the dog a piece of bread because that's like, I believe in breaking bread.
isn't that
I love
nice?
Italian bread. You
that's
got
what
a little
I-
olive oil with this? Or?
Well, usually, you know, it depends on the day.
We should be eating it right now. All right.
Yeah, but we
you should have
don't-
told me. I would have brought some olive
No,
oil.
because we don't want to mess the table up.
Okay.
But anyway, so
Understood.
that's the thing with me, and that's one of the things I'm noted for is, you know, relationship building, networking. And that's how I met this lovely lady, what, about 10 years ago, right? 8 years ago?
It's a while now.
And we
Yeah.
experienced a lot of the same things, and we just clicked, and here we are.
How do you not click with someone?
Well, it could happen. You know, there are people that don't like me.
No. Never.
No, I mean, you know, I'm a very straightforward
She's
person.
special.
You remind me a lot of my grandmother on my mother's side. My
Grandmother, thank you so
Oh,
much.
not because of the age, but because of the Italian
No,
attitude.
I understand.
Right.
No, thank you. That's a
She's
compliment.
very direct as well, in a good way.
It's a
In good way.
compliment. compliment.
Good answer. Good answer. That's why you're running for congressman.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
So let's start with you, Doug. What the heck's going on?
Yeah. So,
Well,
wait. Sorry. Before we continue.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot
I
to
screwed
say,
up.
we're just excited. Today's National Sons Day. So really appreciate your kids. I'm very fortunate. I have 4 beautiful children, 2 girls, 2 boys, and they are both amazing. And happy Son's Day. I appreciate you being my son. Sons up. And then today, and also,
No, okay,
go
no,
ahead.
just,
You just can't help yourself.
no,
I'm not done yet.
Okay, so
I'm not
go
done
keep
yet.
going.
Okay, yesterday. Okay, we're not talking about yesterday. Today
But
is
I want
what?
to mention it.
Okay,
Yes.
you want to mention it because of your daughter. Yes,
Exactly.
yesterday was National Daughters Day. So go ahead.
My daughter came in from Maryland. She helped me out tremendously. I love you so much. My grandson and my daughter helped me get together. I have other good friends that help me too. One of them is sitting right next to me, and one of them is sitting right across the hall here that helped me through a very bad time with a flood. So, National Daughters Day, I have the best. I have 2 daughters, not one. A daughter
That's right.
and a daughter-in-law. And they're great. So, happy National Daughters Day.
Are you done now?
Yes, now you
Okay,
can keep going.
Thank you, appreciate it.
You know, you gotta
That's
get
what I
it.
go through all the time. And then also National Neighbors Day. Be nice to your neighbor. I love my neighbors except one. I don't care for them too much, but just one. Just a little on the grumpy, grouchy side, but means well.
You need at least one of those.
Yeah, you gotta
right?
have one.
Yeah.
You know, I can't even mention, but there's one, like for instance when I play music here, all right, and he's the only one. Everybody tells me that, first of all, you see the police cars in front of his house. He's always calling. But you get the town ordinance. I know you can't play like past 10 or something, but I shut the music off at 9. The latest 9:15. The latest. And this guy calls like every day. Every time I have something, it's every day he's calling. But the police, they also know it's outside, and I shut off at 9. Everybody's social distancing. Everybody has their masks. So you know what? There's no reason why you should be complaining. But so when I went over to his house and I said, listen, I don't understand something. Why are you complaining to him? She goes, I would never call on you.
Did you bring him some bread?
No,
Yeah,
wait
yeah,
a second.
yeah.
No, wait. What I did was I brought him sodas because I know he doesn't drink. So all of a sudden, now I didn't want to stand on the stoop because I'm a pretty tall guy, and it looks kind of intimidating when you're talking to someone,
Right.
when they're very, very small and short and petite. So what I did
Oh,
was I
I'm
bent
sure.
down.
I saw that.
Wait. So I went down there, I stood down, and all of a sudden as he's talking to me, he goes, oh, I would never do this. I would never do this. And then I look at his license plate, and his license plate said P.A. Pa Grumpy.
There you
That's
go.
all I needed to know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And meanwhile, he was like, oh, why would I ever lie to you? Why, then if I had a problem, I'd come and I'd talk to you. Oh, man. But you know what? I pray for the guy. That's all I do is I pray for him.
That's it.
But I have lowered the music considerably. And like I said, we only have, if you're watching, we only have till the end of the month. All right, buddy? One more month. So, and then the other neighbor said, well, what's going to happen next year? Well, next year it's going to be a party. Next year I'm going to use the whole, I'm really going to decorate. But like I said, as long as you keep the music down, I mean, it should be a problem. But some people, no matter what, you can't please everybody.
No,
Definitely
that's
cannot.
right.
You know that already.
Definitely cannot.
You know?
He
So-
may be just happy for the company when he calls the police and they come.
Probably.
You never know, it could be a
Probably.
moment of
Oh,
hope.
it's been very lovely for a lot of seniors.
Yes, that's true. When I got locked out of my house, I was thrilled because somebody came over, because nobody comes anymore. Everybody stays away.
Well, you're never home.
Well, this is true. So,
I'll go
Doc,
knock on his door. I'm always up for the challenge of trying to win.
so
another
now
vote.
what's happening? I know we have something here tomorrow.
Yes, so I'm doing actually it's my first physical fundraiser. We did a Zoom one during my primary. That's when things were a lot worse than they are now. But yeah, this one's going to be in person. It's here at G's. We'll be in the parking lot, social distance. We're going to be watching the presidential debate live.
That's right.
So
That's terrific.
I think
That
a
I'm
lot of
looking
people,
forward-
are looking forward
yes,
to that.
They are.
So it will be exciting.
It's a great
Hopefully,
plan.
we'll raise a little money as well.
Sure.
This is a very grassroots campaign. So backed by the Nassau County Republican Party, proud to be backed by them. But everybody's kind of running on fumes these days. It's hard to be hitting people up for donations when everybody's
It's tough.
struggling
Yeah,
to get
we
by.
get that because we do a lot of charities. So we get
Right,
it.
so we've been running a very grassroots campaign. My competitor, she's been there for 3 terms. She has a lot of money in the bank for the campaign. So we're definitely, it's the small guy versus the big guy very much so. We're definitely the underdog. But I think we're doing a great job. We're really getting the word out. and our message is pretty simple.
Let's see the poster.
Yeah, so I've been going around hanging these up in storefronts throughout I'm sure if you live around here, you've probably seen them in a few places.
I like it.
Yeah, but you have to explain the
So
T-shirt.
I will
Okay,
explain.
that's the most important thing here. Go ahead.
Well, do you know the campaign message is very simple. So do you know who your congressperson is? Vote Tooman and you will. And then I put my number on there. You can text me to meet me. 9 out of 10 people I talk to just don't even know who their congressperson is.
Well, yeah, that's what
Kathleen Rice is, that's who it is. She's extremely out of touch with the constituents. She's just hanging out in DC. Well, I'd like to say she's hanging out in DC, but she's actually missed 166 votes since she's been there, which is double the average of any other congressperson. So I can't even say she's been hanging out in DC. But she hasn't been there. She hasn't been hanging out in the community, and people are noticing. So I'm running on the Republican line, but I'm very much an open-minded individual. I never ran for office before. I'm not a politician, or at least not yet, and really trying not to become one. I'm a professional engineer, so I take an analytical approach to things. I like to believe that I'm a very objective-minded, and I'm just trying to convey that to the people. And I find that most people, is my mic cutting in now?
No, she just lowered you.
Oh, okay. I'm talking too loud.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You're doing
The neighbor's going to complain about you. Don't worry.
Pretty well. And most people, Neighbors Day, right? Most people just want to be treated the same, right?
Yeah.
They just want, we all want the same things here, Republican or Democrats, by and far, for the most part, especially people that live in Nassau County. They just want, basic things. They want to be able to buy a home. They don't want to be overburdened by government. They don't want government breathing down their backs. The masks, we're all wearing masks. We need to wear masks, but it's gotten a little overblown with the COVID thing. People are realizing what it means when, big government starts telling you what to do. Certain businesses can open, other ones can't. All these rules get put in place. And, the big guys do all right, but it's the small guys that end up getting hurt. So I think what people are really craving is just somebody who's going to fairly represent everyone. And like we already discussed here today, you can't please everyone, but that's not what it's about. It's about working with all the different communities, listening to all of them, and then, not pandering to any single one, but understanding what their concerns are, and then bringing those concerns on over to the other community and say, all right, these people care about this community cares about this, let's reach a consensus so we can all do better together as a district. And that just takes a lot of work. And frankly, Kathleen Rice just isn't doing it. She's absent. She's not out there every day. And the only way to be a good congressperson, to be a good representative, is to be out there every day talking to the community. And so I'm really running on that message of just uniting people, bringing people together on what I think it means to be American. And I'm getting a lot of good feedback from Republicans and Democrats.
Well, you're out there for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely, he's everywhere.
Yeah,
He's
out.
everywhere.
So what's your take on middle-class America? Because that's my big thing.
Well, what do you mean my take on it? I mean, we need to protect it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, the middle class spend the most money on Long Island.
Yeah, so I mean, we need to protect. I come from a middle class family. It's we are the backbone of Nassau County.
That's
I'd say
what
the
I
backbone of the United States, and we deserve respect and representation in Congress. But just like any other group. But yeah, I'm a little upset with the pandering we're seeing to the extreme left. And I'm sure you guys would probably agree with that. And, that's the other thing that upsets me about Rice. So she's not present, and then when she does show up, she decides to pander to these extreme views on the left, and I think that's upsetting a lot of people in Nassau County that don't necessarily agree with that. There's a lot of Democrats that don't agree with that. They're scared by what the left is selling on the side. And really that message of the extreme left is about, taking away resources from the middle class and redistributing things. And that's just not America. That's just not the way this country works.
Right.
This is, we're a country of democracy. We're a country of capitalism, where I'm all for providing everybody equal opportunity. And we need to actively figure out how to do that and always improve on that. but it's not about taking away from these people to give to these people.
All right, well, since you said about equal opportunity, we have a lot of Nassau County people here that are 50 plus that really cannot get employed.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that? How are you going to help them?
That's a tough question.
I know, well,
You know,
that's what I stand for, so.
Yeah, so I mean, we got to take a good hard look at, at the data, who these people are, and try to figure out, essentially what opportunities they can be offered. I mean, listen, at the end of the day, what we need more jobs in this district.
I mean, this is a
we need
bad
more
time.
industry in this district. You had AOC over there, who's the big celebrity on Twitter. She single-handedly kicked Amazon out of our district, which which would have brought a ton of jobs.
Right.
They were going to put their plant in Queens and Long Island City. That would have directly positively affected Nassau County in this district.
Right.
You would have had a lot of people who would have had high-paying jobs now living over here. So it's things like that. That's just not the right thinking. We should constantly be thinking along the lines of creating more jobs.
Right.
It's not about taking away from some to give to others. It's about creating opportunity for everybody and allowing all the ships to rise together. So no good answer on what to do for that particular
No, it's
group
a
of
tough,
people.
it's a tough.
But
tough
overall, we just need to be very open to bringing more opportunity to this
Right.
district.
See, to me, I'll tell you honestly, I never, ever really like to bring anything pertaining to politics or religion. I mean, 'cause it's a major debate. I mean, I think you're a great guy. I like you, definitely have my vote. The thing is, I always turn around and I say, all right, you're a nice guy or nice person, whatever it is. But in the beginning, everybody, I don't care, Democrats, liberals, Republicans, everybody promises you the world. But then when they get there, now mind you, I know you have a cabinet, and I know you have people to answer to. It's just like the people think that the president, he's the one that's doing everything. I mean, he has to answer to Congress. I mean, so for you, I believe you want nothing but the good and the well-being of others. I can see that already. I can see the love, the passion. And that's why you're here, because I really do not like politicians here, because you're going to say one thing, once you're in office, what happened to this wonderful show that you were on? And you were promising us, you know what I mean? But I do believe you're definitely going to do what you say. But what makes you really that much better than Kathleen Rice? I'm saying, what has she done that you really haven't agreed? I know you mentioned a few things, but there's got to be one thing that you must have turned around and said, you know what, I got to go for this now.
Well, my biggest issue is she just assumes that she could win this district without doing any work.
Okay.
There's 200,000 registered Democrats, only 150,000 registered Republicans, and like
How many?
150,000
Right.
Republicans,
Right.
200,000
Really?
Democrats. But there's 120,000 unaffiliated voters.
Right.
But so she just assumed she could skate by, and the Dems are going to come out and vote her in every time. So she really, that's my biggest criticism, is that she's just not present in the community. She's not. This is a very tough job. If you want to do the job right, you got to be just as hard as I'm working in the campaign. You basically have to be doing that every day from there on out. And I think she's just a little worn out. I don't see why she would. It takes a lot out of you.
Yeah, it's a
And
lot of time.
I think you need to. People talk about term limits. There's a lot of people that are pro term limit. I personally, that's not a major issue in my mind. I think if somebody's doing a good job and they're doing a great job, let's get them back into office. But what I do find issue with is you get somebody like me who wants to run and dethrone Kathleen Rice, who really is just skating behind inertia,
Right.
and it's very hard for me to do that because I don't have the resources, I don't have the money, I'm running
That's the hard
aggressive.
part.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is a problem. We need
Yeah.
democracy to always flourish, to allow the best to rise to the top, the people that really want to do the job. But that's my biggest criticism of her. She's just not present in the community, and recently she's been pandering to the left. She hasn't come out and stood up in support of the police, for example. She was the DA. She was there.
That's shocking.
She wrote an op-ed. Basically, when the Black Lives Matter movement recently was kind of peaking after the George Floyd incident, she came out and she basically, attacked the police and, I don't want to say attack, but she didn't come out in support of the police. She came out and pointed at, she basically said there's systemic racism. She saw it. She said when she was the DA, she saw it. all right, but you were the DA. Why didn't you do anything about it then? Why are you telling us about all the systemic racism that you witnessed as the DA? So you're admitting that you didn't have the audacity to stand up at that time and do something about it. And now, when you're Congresswoman, and you have people on the extreme left throwing out extreme views like we need to defund the police, you're not taking the hard position of standing up now and saying, you know what, guys? A lot of things that you have to say I agree with. You know, there's a lot of issues with the minority communities, and you know there is some unfairness there that we're seeing with people in these communities and policing. But she's not then saying, you know what, we can't defund the police. You know what, we have to support our police. Like, as a leader, you need to stand up and make these comments at a time when they're difficult to do, even if it means standing up against a large group of people.
Definitely.
And she's just not doing that. She's just coasting along and worried that if she says one thing to one group and not to another, she's just not going to win the election.
Right.
So that's my biggest criticism. She doesn't seem to have the backbone to really be looking out for the people,
Right.
even if it means disagreeing with groups of people.
Which I think right now, that's what we need. We need people to stand up for the people. The people
Definitely,
are a little
right
lost.
now.
They're a little lost.
Yeah, we
You
need
know,
somebody who's going to have those tough
You know
conversations.
what, to me, I've always said, all lives matter. I don't care. And I got to tell you, born in Harlem, I mean, I pretty much raised in the streets. Not that my parents, like, neglected us. It's just they worked a lot. So they didn't know half of the things that we did. And I got to be honest with you, I've seen a lot of friends get killed, a lot of friends, whatever. And listen, there are bad people in this world, whether they're police, whether they're civilians. You have bad people everywhere. You know, and so to me, all lives matter, not just police, not just black. To me, a life is a life. Don't get me wrong, I'm kind of like the old school, and I don't believe in it now, but a little bit in my back of my mind. An eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. I used to be one of those, because you turn around and you take my mother's life, or you shoot my, you know, more than likely I'm taking yours. I mean, that's the way I used to feel.
He's gonna go to
You
jail.
don't know, that's the way I used to feel, because, you know what, I was like, you're my brother, you did nothing, you just walked by, two guys are going at it, whatever it is, shoot you, and now I don't have my brother anymore. So now I have to just accept the justice system, you know, so sometimes I do disagree with it, but I do understand it. It doesn't mean, like I said, I agree with a lot of things that go on, but to me, I'm very realistic. The cops, the 5th precinct, I praise them. The detectives, I don't, and I'll say it to you guys, because you didn't do the right thing, but the precinct, they are great. Desk sergeants, they're always patrolling, always protecting, and I gotta tell you, I love them. And a lot of times I say things, and do I regret saying them? No, because that's what I feel. You know what I mean? So, and I understand how you feel, you know, how strong you feel about her. So hopefully we just wish you all the best of luck, and it turns out, well, you know, in your favor.
Yeah. There's a lot of tough issues being discussed
Sure,
right now.
it's not easy. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, but the best thing you're doing is you're out there and you're talking to everybody and you're learning about all these new people that are around.
Yeah, I'm not spending my time in areas where, you know, it would be a kind of a safe zone among just Republicans, you know? I'm spending most of my time in areas where Democrats are.
Yeah, now I have a question. I think I met you last year. Were you involved with the polling, with the computerized thing that was going on last year when they were getting people to hook onto?
Yeah, so me and another guy.
Were you?
Yeah, well, actually, he's my campaign manager, Brian Kunzig. He
Okay.
developed this I worked on it with him as a business partner.
I
He
thought I saw
developed
you
this
there.
technology that the Republican Party uses.
Yes, and
to
Phil
help
Guarneri.
to help get out the vote. So I went around to all the Republican clubs,
Right.
onboarding everybody, and it worked very well. It helped out with the last election, I think, in a pretty
Yeah, I
major
remember
way.
what you did. It was quite impressive.
Yeah, so that's a behind-the-scenes thing I've done. I've been working behind the scenes for the party a lot. Like I said, never ran for office before, but helped out the party a lot. But I wanted to step up and get in front, and because honestly, what I wanted to do was start to mold the party into what I think it stands for. You know, I think there's so much greatness to what the Republican Party is at its most basic ideals. But it's kind of been misconstrued lately in mass media and social media. You know, it's like if you're a Republican, you don't care about people. You know, you don't care about the environment. You don't believe in science. I mean, it's complete hogwash. You know, that's just not the truth. So I wanted to go out there and start to change that messaging. That's why I said, like, most of my campaigning, it's not in Republican areas. I put my headquarters in the village of Hempstead,
Right.
and I campaigned. I was in Union.
That's
I was in,
majority Democrats right there.
yeah, I was out in Roosevelt this morning. Every
Yeah.
day, I'm out campaigning in areas where Republicans, or where the people there aren't necessarily open to
Right.
to
Yeah,
Republicans.
as long as
But
you're
I'm
not
getting
getting
a
any
ve-
balls thrown at me. You
I'm
know?
not. I'm not
Don't
actually
say
though.
that.
Yeah,
The
he's
silent
still-
majority.
Yes.
Listen, when you're out there, a lot of people, when I walk into communities, if I go to the barbershop in Uniontown, I'm talking to them, and I don't walk in there, hey, I'm Doug Tooman, I'm the Republican running for Congress. I'm Doug Tooman, I'm running for Congress. I live in
Right.
West Hempstead. We start talking. We start talking about the issues.
Which is great.
Eventually, it comes up.
Right.
Oh, you're a Republican? Yeah, but like, why should that? That's not what this is about. I'm not running to vote in accordance with the party. I'm
Right.
running to be a representative for
For
all
the
the
people.
people.
Exactly.
Now, I have
And
basic
people forget that.
right. I have basic ideals that I think align more with republicanism. Small government, less taxes. The role of government is to
Right.
provide a platform for a free and open society to flourish. A lot of people, when I say that, they all like, oh yeah, that sounds great.
Well, I said you sound great. You're going to leave us some cards. We're going to be here tomorrow. What time does it start tomorrow night?
Party starts at 8 o'clock.
8,
I
okay.
think the debate starts at 9.
Nine.
Okay.
So yeah, it should be
Oh,
fun.
it's good.
Great.
I'm looking
Can't
forward
wait.
to
It's
it.
going to be
Definitely.
exciting.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? No
No
pleasure.
problem.
Now all the rest of them, all the rest of them are going to be like really pissed off at me. All those guys.
Okay.
Tom, yeah.
It's
Well,
a
because I
first.
never, and I love
It's a
them.
first.
They're great. I do love them. And
But they wanted to be on the show.
Yeah,
or-
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So,
Oh, boy.
so yeah. So I'm
Let's
gonna.
say you got the first dibs. You got the first dibs. You did.
We'll thank Franny, my daughter, for that. I think
That's right.
she broke the deal
That's
with
it. That's
Yeah.
right. She made she made an impression, and she's a doll.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart. Sometimes you turn around and you say you wish the kids could always stay like that.
Yeah,
But they have to grow up, and
not girls.
when they grow up, their mouth grows up, and
Girls,
yeah.
yes.
Oh God. But anyway, let's get to you, Linda.
Linda Fostek.
Hello, Linda.
I am so excited to be here today.
Good. We're happy to have you.
Let's talk about everything. First of all, let's talk about your books. Shit happens. I love it.
Yes, well, it does, and believe me, 2020 has been the year that shit has happened, right? We were slammed with COVID-19 early in the year. I mean, you look at what's going on all over the country between hurricanes and fires and all kinds of other crazy stuff happening. Flooding, tornadoes, I mean, it's like, what's next? Locusts? And
Don't
then
say it. Please don't put it out to the
No,
universe.
they had a
All right.
locust infestation
Oh, that's
in India.
wonderful.
I'm
Just
like,
back
oh
in
my
Egypt,
God.
back with Moses. Here we go.
Here we go,
Locusts and frogs and.
Oh my God. But, and I think we're all struggling to find some place where we can take some control back in our lives because it feels like everything is out of control. We're being told what to do, when to do it. We're being told to shut up by a lot of people. And it's like, oh my God, what's happening? And people desperately are looking for at least one piece of their life that they can control. And that's what I offer. I offer that control, back. And what you can control is having a plan for what to do when shit happens. Because most of us were blindsided by what happened here. I mean, we didn't have any anticipation of ever seeing a country shut down, of businesses being told, oh, well, you can open, but you can't. You can go to school, but you can't. You go to the doctor and you have to sit in the parking lot until they call you in. I mean, it's like, what has happened to this country? It's like really kind of scary. So creating your disaster plan, your own personal disaster plan, is something that you can feel like you're taking a little bit of
Put
control.
your mic up just a little bit so we can hear you.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect. There we go.
So taking that little bit of control back in your life. And so shit happens, I wrote because I really wanted to get people's attention because everybody knows they need a plan, but how many people actually do it? They wait until they're in the middle of a crisis, and when you wait till the middle of a crisis, you have fewer options available to you because you're in the middle of the crisis. And if anybody remembers the Poseidon Adventure, where you make bad decisions when you're in a crisis. And the Poseidon Adventure, the minister, the ship's minister is leading everybody to the top of the ship, which is now underwater, instead of to the bottom of the ship, which was the only way out. You know, so in a crisis, people do stupid things. I mean, I went to an active shooter training for CERT, and CERT is the Community Emergency Response Team, which I'm part of. And they said in most active shooter situations, people run toward the gunfire, not away from it, because they're not perceiving in their head that they're in danger. So knowing what to do in a crisis is probably the most important thing. And having your plans completed. Most of us say, well, I've got it covered. I've got my will, and I've got this, and I've got that. But what about the things that you don't have? And it's those missing things that will actually hurt you the worst. I mean, I had a situation with one of the people that I worked with. Gentleman who had never been married, lived in his house, went in and out of his house with his garage door open, never used the key. He has a heart attack, EMS comes in, takes him out, closes the door, it locks. He dies in the hospital. Not one person has a key to the house. The key is locked in the car, because that's where the garage door opener is, in the garage, locked in the garage.
Yeah, but those are things that we can't control. I mean,
But,
you know, no, I do understand what you're saying.
but if you anticipate that, you know,
All
like,
right, well,
I'm a widow.
I didn't mean to cut you off for a second.
Yeah.
I've had 3 heart attacks, 2
Yes.
strokes. And on one of them, I was coaching my son. Super Bowl. I'm sitting here breathing heavy. I didn't feel good. I took a knee, and I just didn't feel right. Well, I really didn't think I was having a heart attack. So, you know, I do have the garage opener and things like that. And I also, well, I used to keep a key, you know, at my neighbor's house or whatever it is.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, if I don't know, if I would have just walked in, and I walked in by myself after my friend dropped me off, and I said, I'm fine. And then he said, no, you don't look good. I said, all right, I'll call the ambulance when you know. But I ended up getting into the car and driving myself to the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
But you know what it is? I don't think anybody really, I mean, preventive maintenance or trying to be aware, but what do you do in this situation? So every day, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just trying to
No,
understand it.
so basically, it's thinking in advance. Okay, if something happens to me,
Right.
who needs to know? What do they need to know?
Right.
And when do they need to
And
know?
not a lot of
So
people
right
do
now,
that.
think about it. God forbid, you drop dead. What happens right now? Who's going to know what where, except for the viewers? Who's really going to
Well,
know? Just say-
I'm live on
but I mean,
Facebook.
I just
Somebody's
said-
going to
no,
know.
no, that's what I just said. Besides the viewers, I'm saying,
know.
what is it like?
Well,
what's
she
it
has-
you plan?
yeah.
Yeah,
Tell me.
and,
So at least-
and actually, one of the things that I work with is after a 6-year search, I actually found a cloud service that actually does that for storing your information.
Right.
You upload everything up to this cloud service. You
Right.
designate who needs to know, under what circumstances they need to know it, and what they need to know. So, like, I have a dog. So, who's going to be in charge of my dog? That person would just get the
I bet your
information on
dog
the
has
dog.
a cloud code and everything, right?
I don't know.
I bet that dog can tell some stories if he can talk, though, right?
He's
He tells
pretty
a hell of a
smart,
story.
but he's also lazy. I don't know that the dog would help me very much. But he would lick me to death while I'm in the middle of my heart attack.
He might bring you back. You never know.
Just don't know about those things.
But, you know, but I have things set up that, you know, my sister would be notified or my
Right.
niece would be notified. I mean, when we went to Africa, I traveled with my sister and her
Right.
husband. So my niece and her husband were the next people.
Well, I mean, I do think that most people, like for instance, if I were to leave, if to go somewhere, my wife, my kids, my friends, certain friends I'll let know. But I think most people, don't you think most people like tell other people what they're doing sometimes? If they're gonna like your neighbor, you'd say, listen, I might be gone for a few days, just keep an eye on that, you know.
Yeah, you know, like a neighbor that,
right,
you know,
they-
you have them take the mail in.
Right.
And, you know, if you tell them, I'm going to be back Tuesday, and suddenly it's Thursday and you're still not back, they might call you and say, hey, what's up?
Right.
And if you don't answer, then they'll know something serious is up. But, you know, it is about communication. Once you have everything in place and you have it organized, then it's about communicating to the people that need to know. And what happens a lot of times is people have things, their family doesn't know, So it's like sending your family on a scavenger hunt without the list.
That's
Right,
very
right,
true.
right.
You know, I mean, how
I
many
got you,
people
yeah.
have you known that have passed away and years later they find things either by contacting the state, unclaimed funds,
Yeah.
It's very
or they
true.
find, you know, oh, they had that life insurance policy at the summer house. Who knew that that was there? Or worst case that I actually ran into was a family that after they had spent the father's all of his money to take care of him at home, he had Alzheimer's, ultimately had to put him into a nursing home, sign the house over to Medicaid,
Well,
and when they were cleaning out the house after he passed away, they found a long-term care policy in the bottom drawer that
Wow.
would have saved the house and all the money that they spent.
right. Well,
But he
that's a
hadn't
big thing.
communicated that he had the long-term care, so they didn't even know to look for it.
Mm.
but see, that's
Well,
something that
well,
most people don't
There was
do.
something in the news, something in the news where they turned around and I think the fire department, they were putting out the fire, and as they broke the ceiling, it was over $1 million in cash.
Mm.
Can you believe that?
Well,
I
I know
like that.
when my in-laws passed away and we were cleaning out their house, now they were children of the Depression, so
Right.
they do strange things. I will tell you, it's children of the Depression definitely do strange things. We had to shake out every book. We had to shake out, look in every pocket. We had to look on every hanger
Yeah.
because things were hanging. We found money taped to the inside of the toilet tank. I mean, you cannot imagine where we found stuff. And, you know, that we didn't have any roadmap. So literally it took us a week to clean out the house, which should have
And
been.
that's why you're retired now, because you found all that money.
Wouldn't it be nice? It wasn't enough.
Look at that. It wasn't enough, right?
Can I see that? Is that a planner? What is that?
This, you know, everybody, when you get a car, you get an owner's manual with your car. But the most expensive thing anybody ever buys is their home.
That's right. The
You don't
biggest
get it?
investment ever.
This is an owner's manual for your home.
Wow.
And
That's good.
this is based on, my father was an engineer, so you can relate to this.
Mhm.
Engineers are all about solutions.
Mhm.
And my whole business really evolved from his idea. But when he was 70, he saw a lot of his friends losing a spouse, and the one that was left was thrown into total chaos. The husband had never run the washing machine, the wife had never written a check, and as an engineer, he decided to write a home operations manual. And it tells you everything you need to know about your house, and major appliances and even minor appliances. It goes into that. But it was written like an engineer. It looked like something an engineer had put together, and he had no idea how to market it. So it sat there for 23 years. 23 years later, I'm at an event in New York City, and Kevin Harrington, who was the gentleman who invented well, he brought the Ginsu knife to TV. You know, the infomercial was his baby. He owns the brand as seen on TV. That's a brand that's not just a label they
Yes,
stick
yes,
on
it is.
things. And someone asked him, how do you choose from the 20,000 products you get presented every year, the 30 that you put your name on? And he said if he saw something that filled a need, he felt compelled to bring it to the market. Well, I think everybody in the room saw a light bulb go on over my head, and because I thought of my father's thing, and I said, oh my God, the baby boomers need this now. We are dealing with our parents, and they're failing health. We're dealing with facing our own mortality. I had a husband who was disabled at the time. We're also dealing with children leaving the nest and going out on their own, hopefully, wishfully, for most cases. You're like, are you ever going to leave? No. But, so I said the time was now for me to bring my father's idea
Well,
into fruition.
I'm looking through the book. This is a great book for a newlywed couple that bought a house.
Yes, for anybody, a first-time homeowner, as well as somebody who's divorced, widowed,
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
widower.
Especially widows, because you don't know how to do a lot, unfortunately, when your husband did everything.
A lot.
You got guys like me.
Yeah, that's me.
No, you're
But
not.
I'm looking at page 38. It's hysterical. The toilet constantly running.
Oh, yes.
Of the ball cock adjustment. That's what that.
And
That's
this-
what-
listen,
that's what the
this
part is
whole
called.
entire book. Look,
He
right?
finds ball
Look at what
cocks.
you find. See, this is what I gotta
That,
do.
that probably fixes a lot of
That
problems.
probably does, doesn't it?
Let me tell you something.
That's right.
Well,
Always.
And the other thing is the toilet flapper. I did a little
I mean,
video.
it's hysterical reading it, but it's the truth. You know, I don't know how to open that toilet and do that thing.
Well, you know, and the toilet flapper too, because
Right,
that
right.
that rubber gasket at the bottom of the toilet.
First
The
thing
toilet
that
is
came at
costing
me.
money. It's a $9 part. I did a video where I showed people how to do that.
And there's a thing here that tells you how to do the broken ball cock mechanism. You know, there's a whole thing, a whole dissertation. It's hysterical.
How about skip the page?
All right. So anyway,
Get another
I
book.
You're talking about different.
Really? Right.
Well, this is what we do. We fool around. But this is a great book for a couple.
Yeah.
I think of my daughter when she got married the first time. She's calling me and her godmother for
For
every
everything.
single little thing, which I didn't know. She called her father.
And-
But this is terrific for
And this is
newlywed
part
couple.
of a
Great
whole
gift.
home system, because my father's little home operations manual evolved into this whole home system, which is actually 5 volumes of books. That's the first book. And it comes in a watertight box, file box, that you put all your
That's
important
amazing.
paperwork in. It comes with the file pockets, and then, even to make it better for those first-time homeowners, it comes with a whole toolkit.
Oh, right.
And the
God,
toolkit
get out of
That's
town.
great.
the toolkit has water leak detectors. Anybody who's ever had a water leak in their house. There she is. These little things send off a 90 decibel alarm with even a 1/16 of an inch of water.
I went to the hardware
You know,
store to buy all these things
you know,
when I moved.
These are water and gas shutoffs, your circuit breaker labels. It's really to get to know your home
Mhm.
so that you know what to do when something goes wrong and you don't make it worse.
What is this? Password passport.
That's a book to put all your passwords in.
Oh, I need that too.
Because it's the low-tech
Listen, she
solution
just
to a
wants to say,
high-tech
just get
problem.
to it. Trust me.
No,
Okay?
but it's a very good
Maybe you should
idea.
give it a different name. Though.
Right.
I don't want to tell everybody.
It's
The
very
password
good.
passport, I like that. And it comes with a flash drive to put pictures of all your
That's great.
things, because if anybody's ever had an insurance
That's
claim, the
amazing.
adjuster comes in and goes, oh, I'll give you $5,000 for this.
Right, right.
And you could have had $30,000 that was just destroyed, but if you don't have documentation on it, they're never gonna give you what it's
Right.
worth.
Wow.
And it even comes with a ruler, so that when you do take pictures, you have perspective in the picture, so that they know whether it's an 8-foot couch or a 4-foot
Right,
couch.
right.
So what is this whole kit? What is the kit involved? The book and the kit and
Everything comes
how
together.
much is it?
It's on my website. Oops, sorry.
There you go.
All
So,
right.
Shit
Knocking
happens.
everything over.
Shit happens.
that's no biggie.
It does happen all the time, all the time. But the kit is $147, no, $197, sorry, on my website right now. So you can
That's
get the
great.
whole
It's a
kit.
great gift, I gotta tell
You
you.
know, and it's a lot of people are buying it for first-time home buyers.
I think it's a great gift for real estate agents to give their
Yeah.
people that they buy their homes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was what my father's little pathetic thing that he put together evolved into. And each of the books has a different role. I mean, like, you have the owner's manual. This one is the walk around. So you walk around your house and you look at everything. You walk in a room, how many outlets are in the room? What are the walls made out of? What's the condition? Does it need to be painted? Do the floors need to be redone?
I need
The
to
car-
hire someone to do this though.
You could do that. That's the beauty of this. You could hire somebody, your home inspector. When you,
that.
Yeah, I got you.
when you have your home inspected, when you buy a home, and they give you that sheet of paper, how many times have you ever looked at that?
Nobody does.
No. But it's
But
important
can I tell you
information.
something? I've been a broker for almost 30 years. Whatever sheet I give you to sign, I explain. And a good agent should explain everything that you're signing, not just signing,
Right.
lead disclosure, a waiver if you, look, people, your house was built in 1938. More than likely you have some kind of lead paint in there.
Lead
but if
paint?
you don't know.
You
if
could even
don't
have
know-
asbestos.
No, asbestos. Yeah, more than time with the pipes, But they always say if it's not disrupted, if it's not chipped, leave it alone. They always say that. Matter of fact, one of our viewers, hi Kool-Aid, how are you, love, all the way from Hawaii.
Oh, she's saying something?
Yeah, she said it's a great present, a great gift for real estate, real estate
Yeah.
agents for clients.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So,
And I do bulk orders with real estates and things like that.
I would assume that,
You know,
yeah.
so that they get discounted pricing.
Really? Well, I think it's great. I definitely need
But,
to.
not everybody needs a kit. So
No,
that's
just
where
use
this
the
book
book.
comes in. This is the Now What book, which is just a little planner. You fill in all the blanks, you put all your information in one place. It tells you what to do before somebody passes away, upon their death, and after.
Well, this is important.
So,
Do you know I know people that won't even tell their children everything that they have because they're afraid.
Yes, you're
You know
right.
that?
You're right
And
about
it's
that.
sad.
and the beauty,
I'm an executor for 2 wills of friends, and they have children. And I sit there and I'm like, why me? And it's like, no, we trust you, blah blah blah, because we know you'll do the right thing, And it's sad though.
it is.
But imagine finding a book that
Well, and
you
that's,
wrote, and your kids
one
found
of
that
the
that
chapters in
didn't-
here I have is about talking to your parents about their plans. I don't need to know exactly what they are, just tell me where to find them.
Right.
And what I'm looking for, like if I am looking for a long-term care policy, or if I'm looking for a life insurance policy, just tell me where to find it when I need it. I don't need to know anything else, Tell me what you want me to do.
Right.
Yes, which is very important.
And that, having it in a book like this really simplifies it and takes all that pressure, because there are parents who are afraid to tell their children what
That's
they
right.
have.
That's right.
Absolutely.
You know,
Sure.
And there have been children that haven't done nice things to their parents, so I
Right.
can
There's a
understand
lot of
it.
stories.
I gotta tell you, what made me decide to have a will? My oldest daughter, I think she was like 16 or 15. She's like 30 now. And all her girlfriends in high school, they're all sitting in a room, like TV room, that's what I call it, where everybody would just hang out and they'd have sleepover. And I just remember my daughter said, well, one of her friends said something, and then my daughter said something, and I said it in the past. I didn't know what you know what a MILF is, all right? Do you know what a MILF is? No, forget it.
I don't know what a MILF is.
It's, I
Okay,
won't
now
use the
that's,
word.
now it's,
Mothers I'd like to say
Oh.
sleep with, in other
Oh.
words, but it's another word.
It's-
So,
it's
and there's
derogatory.
a derogatory, so, and then there's a DILF, which means dads I'd like to, whatever. But I thought she called me like a bad name, like Richard, Dick, Richard, you know how you use that, so.
oh, okay.
And then, so when I heard the girl say that, your dad said, like Richard Dick, but the word, you know what I mean? I was really upset and I was offended. And then I walked out of the room and I said, Olivia, come here a second. I said, I can't believe you let that girl just call me the bad name. And she goes, Dad, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, she called me a DI whatever. And she goes, no, it's a DILF. So I didn't know what a DILF was. So when she told me what the DILF was, I became like Emerald Lagasse cooking a breakfast. And whatever you guys wanted, I was like, you should have saw me, And then, but also, my daughter turns around and said, now all the kids are talking, well, if my dad dies, I'm never going to have to work again. But they're all talking among each other. And it really made me think, and I said, well, what good is that doing them if, God forbid, something should happen to me at an early age? At that age anyway. I said, they're not going to appreciate it. They're going to buy all the nice luxury cars, a nice apartment, or whatever it is. And I did a living will. And I sat there and I spoke to them. I said, guys, when I die, I said, well, they're 30. I said, you're going to get X amount every month till you reach a certain age where I feel you're responsible, and then you'll get it. And the attorney said that's like the best thing you can do, so, but they weren't too happy with that part, but.
Yeah, but you see, not everybody's like you that talks to their children about it.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've spoken to a lot of widows. I'm sure you have too. We're both widows.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, there are some widows that are lost in paradise, have no clue what to do. I wasn't one of those. I knew what was going on. However, my husband talked more to my daughter than me. Because he just did, because that's how he was. As far as what he wanted.
Yeah, but you yell.
Yeah, well, this is true. I do.
She doesn't talk, she yells.
Yeah.
She thinks she's talking, but she's yelling.
I do. So,
And
that's,
so-
that's who I am.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but anyway, I think that we've met a lot of widows, right?
Yeah, a lot of widows,
That have
and
this
you know,
problem.
and one of the things that, of all the talks that I've done all over the country and different parts of the world, the one time that I literally got an audible gasp was I was speaking to a group of women primarily in their 50s, 60s, and 70 years old, and I was telling them that if they have children that have turned 18, and they are not married, they're not on their own, it is essential that they have the power of attorney, the living will, and the healthcare proxy in place. Because God forbid something happened to their child while they're traveling around the world or at college, and they end up in the hospital, they will have no rights to tell the medical people how they want their child to be treated
Because they're 18.
because they're 18. So without that document that says that they have that gives them that right, they can't make any decisions for that child. And I've seen heartbreaking stories on that.
Right.
And, you know, most parents don't think about that, you know, my kids going to school, they're, you know, but what if they have a horrible car accident?
Mm.
They can't, they're
It's very
not
true.
able to make a
Right,
decision.
Yeah,
And you as a parent can't make that decision? Oh my God, that would be heartbreaking.
yeah.
So how do people buy the book, get, you know, talk to you?
They can go to my website, which is really easy, thecrisisplanner.com, and you actually will get a free planning roadmap and some checklists, right, just for going to that website. And then you can find out more about all the other things that I'm doing. But I'm all about being prepared. I was a Girl
You
Scout
are amazing.
when I was young, and I've been prepared my whole life.
You're really amazing, Linda, and she travels everywhere. You go to all these different
Yeah.
states to do your, you know,
Well, in
live
January,
audio,
before the
video.
shutdown, I actually was invited to speak in India at a women's conference in India. So
That's
Wonderful.
I mean, it's like, who would have thought that, you know, and, you know, you talk about life after 50, you know,
Yes.
people who need jobs after 50. I was one of those people that was invited to retire from my pharmaceutical job that I had for 22
Yeah.
years
Hmm.
at the
It's like
age of
me.
60. And I did have a plan B in place. It ultimately was not this, but I had something in place that allowed me to get through until I started all of this. And I've been doing this now for 6 years.
Yeah,
I'm
you've
having
grown
the-
it tremendously.
I'm having more fun because this is meaningful. This is helping people improve their lives. This is making a difference in the world.
It's good.
This is the legacy that I'm leaving.
And you are, and everybody
Sure.
knows about you. And you're like one of my mentors because I can't believe what I'm doing because I followed you. I mean, you know, I'm doing a lot of things that I want to do now because I was unemployed and I was let go. So, you know, life is weird.
It's very
And
weird.
then you get other kinds of things that happen in the process. So,
You know.
thank
And
you so
unfortunately, I'm
much.
going to have to record the debate tomorrow because my radio show is at 9 o'clock tomorrow night.
Okay.
Really?
It's a great show. Great show, too. Yeah,
So, you know,
very
I
nice.
get you off the merry-go-round. That's really what I
The
do.
worry-go-round lady.
Don't worry.
Thank
I
you
like
so
that one.
much.
I like that.
I love those kinds
I
of
like
things.
that. I didn't give. I have to just give a few
We have a
quick
lot
shout
of
outs.
people, right?
Christy
Yeah.
Chris says, tell Doug I said hi. She met you at the Crabtree. Very sweet with her husband, Danny.
Okay.
Yes, he says, send her love. Rosemary, how are you, sweetheart? Susan, how you doing? Christy, of course, hello. Teresa, we have Richard, my cousin Richard, I love you. He goes, potential congressman. Very impressive. He wishes you luck. We have John, we have Christine, Heidi, how are you, sweetheart? Rock Starzl, I loved you the other day. He played in a great band, and I want to thank him again for coming through. The residential artist, which I love, and she draws pictures
Yeah,
constantly.
this is the residential artist.
Yeah, whenever we're talking,
She
she'll
draws
turn
us
around,
while
she'll
we're on.
draw, yeah.
Isn't that nice?
And Phil, what's going on, buddy?
He's in
Phil
Washington.
books all my my bands, and he's such a great help. And also Kool-Aid, again, I love you. Denise, I'm surprised you woke up. It's okay, I love you, and I miss you. And then Heather, Michelle, and then we have, all right, we have Kip, Darnell, Joe, Sally, Harvard, Howard, not Harvard, Howard, Paul, David, Nancy, Luther, John, Steve, Michelle, Anthony, Bob, D'Amato, of course he watched, you know that, Lucy, Deborah Bergen, you know how much I love you and I miss you, Anthony, Lisa, and we have another, Jose, and Darnell Price, Darnell Jones, we have Wendy Taylor, we have Jerry, John, and Rosie, Robert. If I missed you, I'm really, really sorry, so forgive me. Robin, I didn't forget you. See, I didn't forget you this time. Okay? Steve, Connie, Karina, Christina, and Robin, and the last one is Teresa. Hello, guys. Thanks for watching the show.
Thank you for following us. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Great
so
to have
that
you.
means you definitely have to support him and definitely have to get, you know, your books and other
Yes.
things. Real quickly, I've been getting texts. Like somebody, I don't know who it's from, it doesn't give you a number, but it says, if you're, we need you to vote for Biden. It's just a text message.
Definitely wasn't for me.
No,
That-
no.
I can say.
No, and it said, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm a Republican. Then all of a sudden I got a text later, if you're a Republican, you know, It's some kind of a, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Really?
yeah, I mean, a lot of people are getting it.
Yeah, the information.
It's
Yeah.
like
Isn't
tech
it something?
spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're the guru with the technology.
It's a tech spot that
Yeah,
probably
it
know
is.
it's programmed depending on what you respond.
We've had over 700 people, well, probably 800 people text us through our
Really?
number because I've been plastering it everywhere.
Yeah, it is
I
everywhere.
talked to all of them individually.
Love your sign. The big
Thank
sign.
you.
That's how I met you. I
Yes.
saw the sign. I
Yeah.
said,
No, it
who
works.
is this guy?
The grassroots
Cool.
approach works.
That's
And, then
And
I
I
engage
did.
with everybody, and
That's
they
right.
tell their friends.
Yeah, yeah.
But
that's
don't
how-
forget
that's
where
how
you
I met
started.
Yes.
A lot of people forget that.
Yes.
All of a sudden, when they reach a certain plateau, it's like,
Wow.
oh, hi, and they go. You know what I mean? But at first, they were really all, And I definitely have to talk about Toys for Tots.
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
former Marine, and we do this every year. Please, 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 if you have any unwrapped gifts, I have boxes everywhere. You can come Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can even call the club, do whatever you have to do.
To drop
You
off.
can text me or FaceTime me, whatever you have to do. It's really, really, really important, everyone. So you can go on the messenger on G's and say we have whatever. I'll come and I'll meet you. So it's really, really important. We have to help the kids, and it's a great thing that the Marine Corps does, and they'll be on the show soon also. And hoorah for my fellow brothers. And Linda's website. We need your website again
Okay.
because one of the viewers were asking for it.
TheCrisisPlanner.com.
All right,
And
so
make
we're
sure
gonna
you
post
tell
it
her
on
that
there
you
for you.
saw her on the show, because we'd like them to know that our
Yeah.
Breakfast Club people are
Yeah.
loyal.
And
And
this is Valentina.
this is me. I just bought this because it's stress-free. You know?
It's stress-free.
It's kind of nice feeling.
Yeah.
It's
I
pretty
just
good.
think of you. See how quickly she disappeared?
Today we were
And
very,
voila, she's back again.
we were very behaved today. We really, except for that one comment, we were very behaved today. But
It gets worse than that,
Oh,
right?
this
man,
is
you
nothing.
don't know. You have no
This is
clue.
nothing.
Banter.
It's
Oh,
about, that's what
wow.
life's
You
about.
gotta keep it
Have a
entertaining.
laugh.
It's real people
Sure.
around the
Yeah,
conversation.
exactly. I mean, we have stories that really, we could just choke people to death.
Jeffrey, I haven't seen you in a while. Thank you for watching.
I want one last thing. I do
Yes,
want to
and
say.
Michelle.
One of our, one of my Breakfast Club friends, COVID Avenue went on fire on Saturday. Floral Park, COVID Avenue, Stewart Manor.
There's quite a few of them.
12, almost 10 to 12 stores.
Was it that many?
And Bob Delano
Right,
sings
yeah.
at
He
one of
sings
them. We
there.
go there. And Paul
Yeah.
was so heartbroken for you, Paul. And we're here for you. The Breakfast Club is
Is there
here.
anything
If you
you
need
need to know
anything,
that?
you let us know. Because, but it's not just Paul. It's a lot of
It's
different
everybody,
stores.
yeah.
And I'll tell you, all the fire companies were there, and the whole town just shut down.
Yeah,
And that's
it's really
what
sad.
Floral
Very
Park
sad.
and Stewart Manor are like. So I feel bad, but we're here if you need anything.
But I'd like to thank you guys. I wish you all the luck in the world. You're going to do it.
Thank
I'm not
you.
even worried
Thank
about
Yeah,
you.
you got it.
Thank you,
You're
guys.
gonna do it.
We
But
got you.
I will say one thing about Miss Rice. I was at the dry cleaner.
He
And-
goes a lot to the dry
And so
cleaners.
when I was in the dry cleaner, she came out and didn't realize who she was, whatever. She was like, hi, how are you? I was online. And, well, she was online. And I just go there, and I don't care what kind of line is there, I just drop my clothes.
Oh
And
yeah,
and
I
goes- and
experienced
She
that.
turns around, she goes, boy, you privileged. I said, just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, made a joke. And she goes, hi, I'm Kathleen. Right? Then all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay. But she was very, very nice.
Okay.
So I have to
It's
say,
good to hear.
Yes.
that's it. So I have to compliment her. She was very nice, cordial.
I don't doubt that she's a nice person.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she's got to be a little more active in
Right.
the
Okay,
No,
so
I
how many-
definitely agree, definitely agree.
So
Definitely
how many
agree with
people
that.
do you meet in the dry cleaners? You met me in the dry cleaners too.
Well, yeah, well, you grabbed me. I just went to drop the clothes, and I'm like, oh, yeah, why? Hi. One of those. She like almost ripped my shirt off, but it's
Yeah, I
okay.
did actually. No, I knew him and I said,
Right.
you need to help us.
Yeah.
And he did help the Breakfast Club. We have a home now, thanks to Greg. So, on that note, let's talk about our
So we have to
sponsors.
talk about our sponsors. Tranquility Spa, located at 700 Franklin Avenue. It's a great place. You know what? We should have all those massage chairs outside when we do this tomorrow, because I mean, it's really amazing.
Yeah, let me tell you,
have
they
to
are
go. They really
terrific.
are. They're wonderful. A beautiful salt cave. And,
I'm gonna invite them to
yeah,
come.
you got to.
No, not the massage people, the owners.
Yeah, no, they really.
It'd make for a great event.
Oh, I know, well, let me tell you, we got
All
ideas.
happy endings. We win. You know.
Oh, please.
Oral Puro, we got to thank Teddy. Teddy, we love you this year. I'm going to come see you this week. We have to talk. And then we have Vinny, okay? Vinny from Chorizo Restaurant. and he's pulling through, even though through a tight crisis like this. I got to tell you, I'm really proud of you. We're proud of you. Keep up the good work, and you guys have to go and stop by and see
And
it.
you get
It's really, really
20% off at Cerezo
Yeah, it's-
when you say you're from the
That's
Breakfast
right, you have to. And at
Get
Rivers
a lot of
Cafe,
discounts.
Rivers Cafe is on 304 Jericho Turnpike, Abigail and Gilberto. Gil is like 3 feet tall, and every time I see Gil, I want to put him in my back pocket and just walk around with him. He's a great
Brand
guy.
new place.
Great guy, brand new
Great
coffee
coffee.
place. I mean, the best coffee in town.
And they ship and tell them you're from the Breakfast Club, you get 10% off.
And then we have the QS2 Training and Consulting, which is her sister.
My sister,
That does a
Liz
phenomenal
Fox,
job.
you got trained by her.
That's right.
She got the CPR training, my
Yes, I
sister.
did.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I
She's a
did.
small business person. She trains everyone in CPR, health, safety, everything.
Well, I got to tell you about the CPR stuff that we're going to go. I remember one time I had one of my heart attacks. I was laying on the floor and I was clenching my chest, and this woman felt that she needed to get me like mouth to mouth. I would have rather died. She leaned over to me. She's talking to me. I'm like, I'm okay. As she's talking to me, she's drooling in my mouth. I don't
She had
mean-
bad breath?
Bad everything. Listen to me. And she's like, listen, look.
Especially
We're like,
with us with
we want-
COVID now.
Wait,
Yeah.
no. You know what? I couldn't even understand it. It wasn't like I was knocked out. All right? I'm just sitting going, I said, I'm okay. I said, I'm okay. I'm okay. She goes, no, you need, look, mind you, she goes, you need nothing. I swear to
wanted
you.
it.
Well,
She
she
wanted
holds my nose and I'm like, no, I'm trying to push her hand away. She opens her mouth, she just
Only-
kind of, oh
only
man,
do
it's
it
just,
if they're
guys, I
not
gotta
breathing.
tell you, so whenever I hear that mouth to mouth stuff, I'm like, listen, let me die. Just let me die. Just do not resuscitate, okay, please. You know what I mean? I swear. If she's ever listened, I know you meant well, whoever you are, and I love you for it.
But,
But no, let me go.
oh, that is funny.
But she was a sweetheart, and you know what I got to tell you, she meant well, and that's all that matters. She meant well, so that was a very good deed, and I thank you so much. And I'm alive here to talk about it, so thank you so much.
And remember that if you take a CPR training class, you're probably going to wind up saving the life of somebody you love.
That's right.
Someone you love. That's what the way it happens. So think about it and then call QS2.
And Maria goes, that's my line, let me die. Maria, we love you, baby. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank
Wish
you.
you the best of luck.
Appreciate it.
You know, you always have a home here. You also have a home
So,
here.
you
And
come
thank
back
you again.
anytime.
And
Yeah,
it's
delightful to
a
be here.
It's a wrap.
wrap.